Today is 35, and I've been thinking about just now something that's been really present since I've been here in Sydney and staying with a friend of mine, and how when we go back to our kind of parents' place, or when we go back to the places in our childhood, a lot of stuff comes up obviously from our childhood, and in a way we can almost start feeling like we did back in our childhood. So I'm just watching myself as I'm being here, and watching myself kind of, revert back into mental patterns that I had when I was a lot younger, and watching myself kind of seeing the world from that place, and watching myself kind of revert back into these, ways of being and thinking of a very much younger self. And it's really interesting how that can happen, and how as an adult I can kind of watch that happening, and watching how it affects my body and how it affects my emotions, and how I start feeling quite vulnerable, and what it does to me as a person, and how I respond to the world from there. So it's been an interesting journey being back in Avalon, in Palm Beach, and back in my childhood, childhood places, and seeing how I've kind of felt and reacted and responded in those places, and how it's kind of made me feel. Also, something that has come up is the way that we take each other for granted, and the way that we are kind of ignorant to what can happen in life. So, often we don't really know what is happening with other people. We don't really know what is going on behind the scenes and what they're going through. And we can really often judge what, we think might be happening, and what we think they're doing, the reasons why they're doing things, and the reasons why they're acting in certain ways that they are. But we actually don't really know what's going on behind the scenes at all. And often we take for granted the time that we spend with people. We take for granted that people will always be around. We take for granted that we think we know what's going on with them and why they're doing things that they're doing, but we actually don't. And so when we take time to think that maybe there's something else going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and start to have compassion for them and reach out for them and ask them about what's going on, then we might find a completely different story that really explains what's happening and what we see from the outside. And it might open up and be something that we weren't expecting at all. So, sometimes we take people for granted and they're not there the next day. Something's happened and they've been taken from us. So learning how to be more grateful and more present and more appreciative of who we do have in our lives and when they are there, and holding more compassion for what might be going on with them, and learning ways in which we can appreciate them more. So that is day 35.